today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite pasta recipes. It's a roasted red pepper, tahini and creamy coconut milk pasta sauce that's delicious, wonderful and superb. So this recipe is super easy. We're going to start off by roasting our peppers. Now you can buy them in a bottle. They're super easy to find in all the supermarkets and grocery stores, but I love the smell of roasted pepper when I'm cooking these, so I like doing them from fresh. So you just have to grab your peppers, put them onto a little baking tray and spray or coat in oil, like so. I usually pierce some holes into the peppers, helps them cook a little bit faster. And then we're just gonna chuck them in. While they're cooking, you can put your pasta on. Now, you have a few choices. I have made this sauce with penne, with fusilli or fusilli, however you say it. I like it with tagliatelle or linguine, the thicker spaghettis. I think that the pasta ends up soaking the sauce in so well, and it feels like you're in Italy, really. So let me tell you a little bit more about the ingredients going into the dish. We have coconut milk. Now you can choose whether you want coconut milk, which is a little bit more fatty, gives it a little bit more of a creamy taste, or you can also go for almond milk as the lower fat option too. This also has nutritional yeast in it. Now if you're vegan, you probably already know about nutritional yeast, but if you're new to your vegan life, then nutritional yeast is going to be your savior. It actually has a lot of B12 in it, which a lot of times as vegans or vegetarians we often lack, and it gives that wonderful cheesy smell and flavor. So I really enjoy putting it in, adds so much flavor to any dish really, and it can go across cuisines. We're gonna add in some bay leaves. Now I love bay leaves. They're basically the Western curry leaf to me. They have so much depth of flavor, especially in Italian dishes. I find when I cook my sauces, if I leave the bay leaves in, it just releases such an aromatic flavor. So absolutely invest in some bay leaves for your pantry. We've also got tahini. Tahini adds a little bit more creaminess, but so much flavor. So you have your tahini with a whole lot of calcium, your nutritional yeast with your B12, and your coconut milk with your healthy fat. So all in all, a very, very well-rounded comfort dish. So I always like my pasta sauces to have a bit of a kick. Now you can use chili oil or chili flakes, but seeing as we're going down the tahini route, I always like pairing it with paprika. So paprika, and I'm putting in a little bit of cheeky mustard too to give it that extra kick. And lastly, the secret ingredient going into this is miso. Now miso you're probably used to hearing when it comes to Japanese or Asian flavors, but I find it gives so much depth to the flavor of pasta sauces too, and it makes it taste a little bit different. I learned about miso in pasta sauces from my brother-in-law. He made an amazing pasta sauce when I went back to London, and so I thought I'd incorporate it into this one too and see how it tastes. Okay, so once you have your juicy roasted peppers, just look, so beautiful. You are going to take the skin off and the seeds out from inside. Doesn't matter if your peppers fall apart, that's fine, it's going to blend up anyway. Just peel the skin off. It should peel off really easily, especially if they're cooked perfectly. Some may say this is burnt, but I say it's charred and gives a great flavor. So the reason you have to skin and take out the seeds of the pepper, number one, it makes the sauce much smoother. Number two, the color becomes so vibrant. And number three, because in Ayurveda, I've spoken about nightshades so many times, but it reduces the effect, the inflammatory effect of the peppers by removing the seeds and the skin. Also, you see all the juice coming out from the peppers. You can most definitely, I encourage you to pour that into the sauce when you blend it too, because it's got so much flavor trapped in that juice. Okay, so now all the ingredients are ready. We're gonna chuck it into a blender and make it silky smooth. It makes me happy every single time I see it. It is just so beautiful. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it a bit closer. Can you see it? Oh, it is beautiful. Divine color. So now, my little buttercups, we have to cook this, because I truly believe that the flavors are enhanced when you cook all the flavors together. Now all the ingredients are merged together, but they need to get to know each other. And so we're gonna add this with the bay leaves into a pan, and you just have to simmer it for about 10 minutes, and then it will be ready to pour. You may find that your sauce thickens up a little bit too much, so all you have to do is add a little bit extra water and get it to the consistency of your preference. Okay, the sauce is ready and it should be smelling incredible by now. And our pasta is ready too. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil onto the pasta first, just so that it doesn't stick. If you want, you can put your pasta on and then drizzle the sauce on top. But I like tossing it into the sauce just so it can marinate a little bit longer too. So now you could just eat it like this, or if you feel a little bit fancy, I'll show you how you can twirl the pasta and plate it up to make it a little bit more visually appealing. Now, if we want to do this the true Italiana way, that was a great accent if I do say so myself, then we need 2 carbs in our meals. You can't just have pasta without some bread. Bread. So you have 2 options. You could just cut this crusty bread, dip it into some wonderful olive oil and balsamic vinegar, or you could griddle pan it with some olive oil and some herbs and make it into a crusty, delicious, herby bread. Now, seeing as this is fresh bread, I know this may look like a French baguette, and it may just be a French baguette, but I think fresh bread is always nice just left as fresh bread. So I'm going to enjoy this with the balsamic option. Okay, it is finally time to eat. That really didn't take too long at all, and it smells so delicious. Every time I have Italian, it reminds me of the 2 months that I actually spent in Italy with my sister. We wanted to learn Italian, and so we thought we'd go to a language school there. We stayed in Sorrento, and we had pizza or pasta every single day, if not for 2 meals, and we had gelato every single night. And it was such a wonderful, wonderful memory that I have. The incredible bread that they have. I don't know whether I've told you, but I love bread. They would always give you bread with your meal, to before your meal and during your meal. And I always used to love just scooping up the leftover sauce in the bowl afterwards. This is definitely the comfort version of this recipe. Now, I usually, if I'm making on a regular basis, then I will add in some vegetables. Either I'll add zucchini or green beans, or any vegetables that are in season. I usually use green ones, so zucchini, green beans, or spinach. And you can just saute them in before you add in your sauce, and then you can add your pasta in as well. So that's a healthier version, but I'd say this is definitely for those nights when you just want a little bit of comfort food that tastes incredible. So before we eat, we have to remember to say a prayer of gratitude for every single person that has been part in making this dish possible for it to come to the table. So I always say, from the farmers that have grown the wheat that goes into the pasta, to the sun for growing every grain and every ingredient that's gone into this, and ultimately to God for providing us with everything that we possibly need to nourish ourselves. So always remember to do this. It really enriches our food in such a devotional way to really nourish our bodies deeper than just our physical body, but our soul and mind as well. And on that note, let's go. Let's do this. They always say this is not a good date food. But flavor-wise, it's definitely a date food. If you are trying to impress anybody, this is so incredibly delicious. Now I see why it's not a date food. Now I get it. I really hope you all enjoy this recipe. It's such an easy, simple recipe, but with such fresh, wonderful ingredients for you to keep in your meal plan for the week. And I would love to see pictures of you guys trying out the plating technique of the spaghetti. I think it really adds a bit of va-va-voom to your dinners. So sending you all so much love and gratitude, and thank you all so much for constantly showering me with so much positivity in the comments. It really, really means so much to me. Hey there. If you like this video, or even if you didn't like it at all, subscribe anyway, so I can get to know you, just as you get to know me. And we can build a beautiful, loving community.